please take a seat because this tea is burning. Did Chrissy Lannon's newborn child really get switched at birth? Guess who's out here making the most absurd claims? Mama Jones. Jim Jones' mother isn't holding back. We already know that Chrissy Lannon's and Mama Jones have had a tense relationship for years, but this is completely ridiculous. Imagine going to the hospital ready to bring home your child only to discover that it might not even be your child. Mama Jones is out here saying that she warned you something was strange, but the real question is she telling the truth or is this some sort of high-level confusion happening in real life? And let's not forget Jim Jones. How is he handling this? Is he supporting Chrissy Lumpkins, or is he privately wondering if his own mother, Mama Jones, has always been messy but has never been this bold? If this is the case, this could be the most outrageous thing that has ever happened. Following years of drama, Jim Jones and Chrissy Lumpkins are suddenly embroiled in a shocking scandal that no one saw coming, and the strangest part is that Mama Jones is spearheading the argument. Accusations that are completely upsetting the internet. She is saying that the child Chrissy Lumpkins brought home from the hospital could not even be theirs. Yes, she is saying that Chrissy's child was allegedly born with a different gender. This kind of thing only happens in movies, but anyone who knows Mama Jones knows that she has never loved Chrissy Lumpkins and has been open about it for years. When she made the shocking accusations, people reacted in two ways: either she is causing trouble again, or she really knows something the rest of us don't. But this is where things get crazy. Chrissy Lumpkins herself began to have doubts, and then things started to go from, this is just Mama Jones being Mama Jones, to wait a minute, could this be real? Let's take a closer look at this scandal, including where it started, what Mama Jones is saying, and most importantly, is there a chance that this child isn't really Jim Jones and Chrissy Lumpkin? Chrissy Lumpkin eventually welcomed their child into the world, and for a short while, everything seemed fine, the couple looked happy. According to family insiders, Mama Jones started feeling something was off with the baby almost immediately. She made small remarks like, "I don't know something about this infant don't set it right with me." However, the more time she spent with the child, the more seriously she became suspicious, and she allegedly told Jim Jones directly, "I'm telling you this ain't your baby, something is wrong, I don't even know what to believe anymore," Chrissy Lannon said when she went live on Instagram, tears streaming down her face. The internet went into major breakdown mode. "I just don't even know what to believe anymore. I carried this baby and gave birth, but now people are telling me that this isn't even my child, and let me tell," she said. If you know Mama Jones, once she gets an idea in her head that she would never let go. But what about Jim Jones? At first, he dismissed it, thinking his mother was just being emotional. When someone as harsh and outspoken as Chrissy Lannon breaks down like this, her fans were taken aback because, let's face it, if it had just been Mama Jones speaking, they might have ignored it. However, now that Chrissy Lannon was questioning it, they began to wonder, what if something actually happened at that hospital? The internet then did what it does best, it dug deep. People began researching past hospital mix-ups, DNA test disputes, and actual cases of children being exchanged at birth. One comment went viral, and everyone laughed, but baby swaps, as has previously happened. If Chrissy Lannon has any doubts, she should get a DNA test as soon as possible. Jim Jones was caught in the middle, trying to maintain harmony between his mother and his fiancé while also unsure of what to believe. Then, in an Instagram post, Mama Jones made it clear that she wanted a DNA test, saying, "I'm not letting this go, we need answers, I ain't calling that baby my grandchild until I know for sure." After then, chaos ensued. Because the internet loves a good story, when people learned about Mama Jones's accusations, they went crazy. They began comparing features of the baby pictures and even looking up old pictures of Jim Jones's baby to see if there were any similarities. One tweet with over 50,000 likes read, "Mama Jones might have a point, this baby doesn't look like Jim Jones at all," and then someone else posted, "So someone contacted me because we need answers." Even celebrities began weighing in. A certain reality TV personality who asked to remain anonymous retorted, "Mama Jones might have a clue, do you recall the last celebrity baby controversy?" At this point, things were getting out of control. Then, in the most bizarre turn of events, an alleged insider revealed new information. An anonymous insider wrote on a popular gossip blog, "I can't say too much, but let's just say there was a mix-up that day and some infants were taken to the wrong rooms. Do with that info what you will, and baby, when I tell you the internet erupted into full turmoil, is this true? Was Mama Jones truly right the entire time? Was the baby that Chrissy Lannon brought home the wrong one? And more importantly, what will Jim Jones do about it?" Because trust me, this story is far from over. When that anonymous hospital employee revealed the truth about a mix-up, people began investigating, and what they discovered, let's get straight to the main question on everyone's mind: did Chrissy Lannon really bring home the wrong baby? Does Mama Jones have a point? Jim Jones is trapped in a nightmare that no one wants to witness Chrissy Lannon's breakdown. After days of suspense, tears, and fans demanding answers, Chrissy Lynn said she was taking a DNA test, but not just any test. She made sure the results would be aired live, eliminating any doubts or questions. Let's be honest, this suggests Chrissy Lannon had her own concerns, because if she was completely certain this was her baby, she wouldn't be doing all of this. If she was, in fact, completely certain, she wouldn't be doing all of this, and that was all Mama Jones needed to hear. The minute Chrissy Lannon, when Mama Jones mentioned the DNA test, she became haughty as usual. She was drinking tea on Instagram Live when she said, "See, I told you thought I was crazy, but I know my family's bloodline when I see it." The internet went into overdrive, and people began picking sides. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds, and the most bizarre rumors began to circulate. One fan of Chrissy Lannon wrote, "This is beyond twisted up. Y'all got this mother doubting her own baby after carrying that child for 9 months. Mama Jones has to back off. We're yelling, nay, something is amiss. If your own mother-in-law asked, is this certain the kid isn't yours, you need to make sure that the DNA test is done as soon as possible." Then came conspiracy theorists, who claimed that this wasn't an accident, but one well-known post claimed that the real child was out there somewhere and that someone had purposefully switched Chrissy's child. One user even asked, what if a hospital employee was bribed to create? However, just as the drama reached its climax, there was another shocking turn of events, because guess who decided to speak up? The hospital where Chrissy Lannon gave birth was forced to respond after days of wild accusations and ideas that went viral, and what they said changed everything. A hospital official issued a statement saying, "We are aware of the worries emerging on social media regarding a possible mix-up at our plant. We want to remind the public that we follow stringent standards to protect the safety of newborns, but in order to address these concerns, we are launching an internal assessment. If they were, I used to work there, and let me tell you, baby mix-ups have happened before. Folks simply don't talk about it. I don't know about Chrissy's problem, but if I were her, I'd be afraid, because fans are demanding." Shortly after the hospital announcement, another person came out, this time an alleged former hospital employee, who chillingly revealed in a leaked voicemail to a major gossip site that they were positive nothing had happened. Instead, they said, "Yeah, we're looking into it," suggesting that Mama Jones might not be worse. And Jim Jones, who had remained silent for the most part of the drama, has now had his comments overtaken. "Bro, speak up. Visit your baby or not, Jim Jones. If you don't say something soon, we're just going to believe Mama Jones was right all along." Jim Jones finally spoke on a surprise Instagram Live, looking exhausted and his face drained. This situation was obviously eating him alive, and when he did, he said, "Listen man, I don't even know what to say right now. This whole thing has messed me up. All I care about is protecting my family, but here's the big question now is what this DNA test will reveal. Did Chrissy Lannon really bring home the wrong child? And if so, where is the real child? Or is this just Mama Jones being her usual messy personality? Let's face it, she's notorious for stirring up trouble. Jam Jones didn't deny anything. He didn't say Mama Jones is lying, and he didn't declare this baby is completely ours. He simply stated that he wanted to protect his family, and that's all the internet needed to hear. This whole situation appeared to be a ridiculous attempt to upset Chrissy Lannon and cause confusion for the family, but just when we thought we had seen it all, the most bizarre twist of all occurred. A woman named Chenise Carter went live on Instagram and looked extremely uncomfortable, but as she spoke, the internet stopped. She said that her child was switched, and yes, you heard that right, something always seemed wrong with Chen's baby. Who gave birth in the same hospital as Chrissy Lemon around the same time? I wasn't going to when she started her live video, she said in a trembling voice. Something has not been right with me since I brought my baby home from the hospital where I gave birth. Something just felt different when they handed me my kid, and I understood how I felt during my pregnancy. I was able to speak my mind after watching all this nonsense about Chrissy Lemon. By this point, the comments were getting out of control. Nope, this is a baby black market ring, was Chenny's statement. Others were posting what would happen if both switched, and a conspiracy was in full swing. The scariest thing she asked was, when I first saw the pictures of Chrissy's baby, I had a gut feeling that it was mine. Is that good with you, child? People were going crazy because they couldn't imagine that another woman from the same hospital would have the same worries at the same time. She also mentioned that the hospital had already turned down her request to double-check her baby's records, saying that I was upset and that everything was fine. Now, look at what's happening. Everyone wants to act like this isn't real, and it has turned into a nightmare baby exchange. If Shanice was telling the truth, two families might have the wrong kids. If that were the case, then who omitted the internet? When people started researching previous instances of baby mix-ups, guess what happened? Hospitals have handed the wrong kids to the wrong parents before, and some people didn't know about it until years later. Now, people are wondering where Chrissy Kin and Shauna's real children are, if they both had the wrong ones, and before we had time to consider it all, Chrissy's DNA test results arrived. Had previously stated that she would do this live in order to silence everyone, but after all of this new drama, she remained silent and only posted in ghost mode. Everyone knew something was wrong because, had the test results been normal, Chrissy Lemon would have immediately written a clapback to Mama Jones, saying, "See, I told everyone, now get away from me." However, the silence made it obvious that something was failing, and after 2 days of nothing, Chrissy Kin finally returned with a confession that shocked everyone in a serious way. According to a disclosure from someone who was probably an insider and a messy friend who couldn't keep their mouth shut, the DNA results showed a significant disparity, suggesting that she wasn't Chrissy. In other words, there was a chance that the child she had been raising wasn't her biological child. Oh my god, the Hollywood chaos swiftly turned into a real-life nightmare, and you know what? There was no evidence of Jim Jones' people. I'm devastated by the Instagram story she made. Please respect my privacy right now. At first, I thought he was just keeping quiet to avoid the commotion, but later, a strange idea started to emerge that, if it were true, would make the whole situation even stranger because Jim had also undergone private testing, and according to Anonymous, Jim's DNA did not match either of them. If that's the case, then who is this baby, and who are the biological parents? Mama Jones was now hopping around as if she had won the lottery, making films about various subjects, as I told you what I knew about Chrissy Lemon in the meantime. People close to her claim that she is in despair because she is starting to worry in her heart about whether Jim Jones knows anything that I didn't know because, let's face it, Jim Jones has had strange energy throughout the entire time. He never completely denied the claims and never offered Chrissy Lemon any consolation. What if Jim Jones didn't want to speak out because he knew something was wrong? Just when we thought everything was finished, the hospital gave a second statement. That was clear this time and acknowledged that they had made a mistake this time? Oh my god, a mix-up involving several since Chrissy Lemon and Jim Jones are no longer the only ones involved, other families may also be involved, and there are people out there raising children who are not theirs and are unaware of it. The hospital confirmed that many of these claims suggest that Chenny's and Chrissy Lemon were not alone. And you know what? Behind the scenes, a full-fledged investigation is already underway, attorneys are being engaged, litigation is imminent, and worst of all, the search for the true biological parents has begun. Be a reunion of the real families. And now that the hospital is finally acknowledging that something is wrong, there is little doubt that this drama is far from over. However, we must now wonder who is to blame for this disaster. Is it just a hospital error, or is there something more? This is completely ridiculous, so please share your thoughts in the comments section. If you thought this was crazy, just wait to see what happens next in terms of controversies and shocking revelations. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you think this is a straightforward hospital error or if something much more sinister is at work. Press the notification bell to be the first to know when the next shocking revelation occurs. Let's get started. Let's begin.